YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a ZFS pool that starts with one drive only. The purpose of this is to have a reasonable budget. I'm trying to use SSD that is reasonably large, but they're pricey. They're about $300–400 each. So because of that, I can only afford one right now. And then eventually, I would like to purchase the second one and then mirror it. And then eventually, I would like to purchase two more, and then go ahead and have two mirror sets, and then create the stripe RAID10 so that it will be striped and mirrored at the same time. But I would like to do it gradually so that it doesn't feel too heavy in the pocket. So let's get started. In this test or experiment, I'm going to be using a virtualized environment. Currently, I am using a software called UTM, and I have set up a Proxmox virtualization here. And currently, I set it up with basically 4 drives. Each one of them are 10 gigabyte. So I know you can't see it here. It's really hard to see it, but it basically, just trust me, there's starting from here is SDB, SDC, SDD, and SDE. They're all 10 gigabyte each, so that we can easily remember what they are. And so I'm going to go ahead and start that, the Proxmox, so that it'll start booting. All right, so while that is booting, I am going to also explain about the Proxmox have fully booted. Let's go ahead and do a refresh and see if it needs to log in. Nope, it's already logged in. All right, so let me get you oriented to what I have here. This is just a simple setup, a blank Proxmox server. And if we look at this is the node right here, F0. And if you look at the disk here, basically I have no ZFS directory, nothing. So I have no disk defined other than the regular LVM and LVM thin, which is created by Proxmox by default. Now, if you click on disk, you will see that these are the SDB, SDC, SDD, SDE, 4 drives that we are going to use to experiment with the ZFS. So they're all 10 gig each, and they're all ready to go. I don't know why the serial here is out of sequence. You have 5, 7, 9, and 11. I'm not sure why that is, but I'll show you how to basically get those IDs later on from a command line. All right, so first thing that we're going to do is demonstrate of how to start. Like I said, in our demonstration, what we're going to do, we pretend that we are buying our first SSD. We can only afford one right now, so we're going to start with just creating a ZFS. I'm going to call my ZFS Pool, and it's going to be a single disk. I don't like to do compression on my ZFS Pool because it takes more performance out. But yeah, so I'm just going to start with single disk, compression off, A shift 12 by default, and I'm going to pick the first drive, which is SDB. I'm going to click create. Okay, so while that's creating, I'm going to explain that this is just doesn't even have any RAID, no mirror. So this is just a plain drive to start with, a plain ZFS pool, not a plain drive, sorry. All right, so once it's created, you can click detail. You'll see that it doesn't have any status of mirror or stripe or anything. It just says basically this is a ZFS pool. The size is 10 gigabyte. So our goal is to eventually get RAID10, which means that our size, our end goal size is going to be 20 gigabyte, because when you have 4 drive in a RAID10, you basically divide it by 2. So because when you mirror, you don't gain anything, and when you stripe, you do multiply that by 2. All right, so let's get started with the command line. Here I have already logged in to the server, and since we have created the ZFS pool, what we can do is just put zpool, type in zpool status. Then you'll be able to see that is our current ZFS pool with just one hard drive, which is 0005. It's just SDB. And I'm going to show you this command line that will allow you to find your disk by ID like that. So if you list using lsah, which means that it's just the detail, listing everything to do with the detail of that particular directory, you'll notice that it shows you all the disk IDs, and this one right here is the SDB, as you can see, and you would want to see and identify all the disk names, including this ATA, QEMU, and everything. And then this is what we're going to be using is SDC, SDD, and SDE. So it's going to be ID 7, 9, and 11. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is add another drive to this single drive ZFS pool. Proxmox doesn't let you do any of this from their interface. Once you have created this, all you can do is just click on detail, reload, and when you have this selected, this pool selected, the only thing you can do here is destroy, which is not what we want to do. So everything has to be done from the command line, and from the command line, so what we're going to do is add our next drive, which is this one right here, SDC, and then it's QM00007. So what we want to do is type in zpool, attach, and the pool, which is ZFS pool, and then we're going to type the drive ID, which is this right here, not the SDC, but this part right here, and paste it. All right, so let's give that a try and see if that works. Okay, obviously that did not work. Oh, I forgot. We need to put the existing device first before we put in the new device, because we only have one drive in it right now. Okay, there you go. So now let's issue this again. Okay, it takes a second. All right, now let's do zpool status again. There you go. So in order for you to add a hard drive to an existing pool that has nothing, there's no mode, it's not even mirrored, just one drive, you use the command attach. And attach will automatically create a mirror out of these two. Now this is the original drive 5, and then now you just added 7 to it, and it's a mirrored. Now it's a mirrored pool. So let's confirm. Let's reload and confirm that Proxmox do show the same result. So the size is still 10 gigabyte, but when you click on detail, you'll see that both drives are now added. Okay, so right there, and so that looks good, and the size is still 10 because it's just a mirrored drive, right? It's an exact copy between those two drives. So we're going to test this and prove out that we can actually perform this while a partition, not partition, a container is actually has been assigned to it. So this is completely safe with a container being or occupying in the pool. So I'm going to go ahead and create a container real quick. So let's just create a container called lxc1, and just put testing for the password and click next. Going to just create a Alpine Linux, the smallest container possible. Going to use ZFS for the storage, obviously, and just leave it at default for everything else. For the IP address, I'm just going to use DHCP, and then we're going to let that do its creation. All right, so let's go back to the command line, and we are going to now add the we're going to add the next two set of drives. This command cannot be done separately, so it can only be done together. So the next purchase, basically, so what we did is we purchased one drive, and then when we have more money, we purchased this one, and we mirrored it. Now we're safe. We don't have any danger of losing data because it's unlikely that both SSD is going to fail at the same time. But let's say in the future we need more capacity, because right now we are only at 10 gigabyte for both of these mirrored. So let's say business grew and I need double the capacity. I need 20 gigabyte. So therefore, I need to add more drive, but I cannot just add one. It doesn't work with the stripe. I have to add two at the same time into the ZFS pool. And so in this case, we will pretend that we actually bought two more drives, and we bought basically number 9 and number 11. And we're going to go ahead and add that all together into the ZFS pool, and it's going to turn it into a mirrored stripe RAID10, basically, ZFS pool. All right, so here is the container that we just created. We go ahead and start it, and I'm going to also log in there and create a continuous ping to show you that it can stay on and working. I'm going to go ahead and log in and start pinging just my gateway, so that we can see that this can happen without any interruption. All right, so here you'll see that this is the status, the current status. We have a mirror of 2 drive, and we are going to now create another mirror set and stripe it using these two. All right, so the command is zpool add, and then the pool name, ZFS pool, and then its mirror is the type that we would like to do between these two devices. So we're actually adding these two devices, or these two drives. All right, so let's break down this command here. So zpool add the pool name in a mirror mode, and then the two drives. So it's going to create the mirror set and immediately stripe it. All right, so let's check our zpool status. There it is. So we have, this is the first two, and then 9 and 11 is our next two. And there was no interruption. The operating system was working all along. And we are going to check. All right, as you can see, the size is correct. This is our goal is to have a 20 gigabyte capacity with a RAID 10. So as you can see here, Proxmox is showing that it has automatically balance and distribute our data, because this is a ZFS now. It's a ZFS RAID 10 now, so it's stripe and mirrored. And these are all the drive that is participating in the RAID 10. So we have two mirrors and stripe together. So I just want to make sure that we are doing this properly. What we're going to do is completely destroy this particular ZFS pool, and then create the whole entire RAID 10 using Proxmox without touching the command line. and we are going to compare the result. So here is our result right now, creating this RAID10 from the command line without using Proxmox, and we're doing it incrementally as we have more money to buy more drives. And I am going to now disassemble, or I'm going to shut down this particular container, and then remove it, and also destroy the ZFS pool, rebuild the ZFS pool using the same 4 drives, but it's going to be done all together through Proxmox, and we're going to compare the output to prove to ourselves that what we have done is actually correct. It looks exactly identical, basically. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this container, because if we don't remove it, it's going to become an orphan, and we can't remove it later. Okay, so while that is removing, we are going to go to, okay, so that's removed. We're going to go to the ZFS pool, and we're going to go ahead and destroy that. All right, so we have to type in the ID here and let it clean up the storage configuration, so everything will be completely gone. All right, so I'm going to confirm by going here that zpool status is no pool. Okay, we have nothing. All right, so let's go back to here and wait until this is done. All right. Okay, so now that it's done, we have nothing here. We go back to disk. Everything should now be ready and available again. There you go. And what we're going to do is now go to ZFS. We're going to create ZFS. I'm going to call it ZFS RAID10 now, so that we can see the difference. And the rate level is going to be RAID10. Compression is still off. I don't like compression. And we are going to select all the drive, all 4 of them. B, C, D, and E. All right. And we're going to go ahead and click create. So while that is creating, let's go to the command line. Still waiting for it to finish. Okay, it's done. So let's take a look at it first from Proxmox. All right, so from Proxmox, you have 5, 7, 9, and 11 in 2 different mirror sets. The rate now is called ZFS RAID10, and everything looks good. The entire pool capacity is 20 gigabyte, as we expected. Everything is great. All right, so again, this is a new ZFS pool name. All right, so when we go here, now we're going to repeat the same zpool status. You'll see that this is our old pool that we created from command line, and you'll see that it's completely identical. This is our new pool, ZFS RAID10, and ZFS RAID10 has the same exact thing, mirror 0, mirror 1, and the content is exactly the same, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 9 and 11, 9 and 11. So there you go. We have basically figured out how to save money, doing a step-by-step upgrade, starting from 1 SSD to 2 SSD and then finally 4 SSD, while basically preserving money and upgrading as we go, because we probably don't need to have this extra capacity until later in the future. And the one caveat that I would like to point out is that when you only have 1 SSD here, if you have money to go ahead and do this mirror, go ahead and do it, because obviously you need to have redundancy. But Proxmox backup is pretty good. If you back up every night, then the most that you lose is 1 night. But anyways, so you can just start with 1, upgrade to 2, etc. And yeah, it works out for me. I just want to share this technique that I've been using. so that hopefully is useful to somebody. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that other people would discover it. So YouTube will share it to more people. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to see more do-it-yourself video like these and support my channel. Thank you.